Hi baby, seen I need lately, scundi mój spam, ever they trade, sanat wondering to monumo koninieti.
So welcome back everybody, I'm BBOT11 and today we have another Linesmen episode. The first one obviously talking about the Barclays Premier League season and the matches that were on that match day. Anyway, today in this episode I'm going to be joined just like in the last episode by...
Yo, it's me, Taiwo, aka TDR Gaming.
And apparently, according to Sky Sports and BBC and other news sources, Manchester United board have officially sacked Van Gaal with Mourinho lined up in first place to replace him. This also holds speculation over the future of Ryan Giggs being the assistant manager to Mourinho or Van Gaal or whatever happens. And that's what we're going to be discussing today, the possibility, the consequences, the reviews of this piece of news basically. Got anything to add to that?
Yeah, well, as you can tell by my voice, I'm really happy that Van Gaal has been sacked. Or, it says he's been sacked, or it also says here, why did it say that? It also says here that he's left, so I'm not quite sure. Like most of Sky sources said, most of the sources in Sky Sports said he's been sacked. A few say he's just left, but I'm just gonna go with it being sacked, which I'm really happy about. I'm not sure where this lies, where the future lies in the hands of Giggs. Hopefully he stays, but I'm not quite sure, to be honest.
Right, the thing is, first of all, who is going to replace Van Gaal? Mourinho obviously being the main person, he's going to apparently agree to terms by Thursday or something. I'm just not sure about him though, because does he suit United's style of play?
Well, I think that there is no United style of play anymore. I think there was under Fergie and there wasn't under, well, there was still kind of under Moyes, but then as soon as Van Gaal came in, it just changed. There's no style of play for us anymore. And when you said Mourinho, it's like he joined. I think he's already joined. I think it will be announced tomorrow that he is officially a Manchester United manager, and I think that he will do a good job. Many people saying that they're excited because Van Gaal's gone. I don't know whether they even like Mourinho. I just think that they're excited because Van Gaal has been sacked. So yeah.
Going back to the style of play situation, I feel that since Van Gaal has come in, he's brought in a lot of young or new players, including, for example, Depay and Martial, and also Rashford coming up through the youth ranks, Lingard, Fosu-Mensah, the list goes on. They didn't play in the United so-called style of play under Ferguson, so they, unlike Rooney, have no specific United style of play, so whatever manager they're playing under their tactical thing. They're not like Rooney or somebody who, under Ferguson, got used to the Manchester United style of play. They are people who are youngsters, they need to grow and they will grow under a certain style of play, and if we can get a long-term manager in who will develop that style of play and develop them into the right players, that's what they need. And also, the thing is, if we've got more young players who don't understand that style of play, then we have older players who had the style of play with Ferguson. What's the point in trying to carry on the Ferguson style of play if only a quarter of the players are going to play it, rather than bring in a style of play which suits the majority of the team and start a new era here at United, rather than hoping that trying to carry on the Ferguson legacy. I think we've got to accept that Ferguson is now gone. Somebody else is going to be here. We have got to try and switch our style of play to suit that manager, or we're just not going to succeed.
Yeah, I was done in my head when you said I think we need to accept the fact that Fergie's gone, because he has gone now. Moyes is gone, Van Gaal's gone. How many styles of play do you need? But I think I agree with you when you mentioned that Fergie's gone and they need to get over it. We've got a new manager now, and which is Mourinho.
Maybe.
I think it's I think he's a manager anyway. And also, Mourinho has got, I think it's the highest win rate percentage not highest. I think he's got, I think he's at one win rate lower. I think he's one win rate lower than Fergie. So he's quite a good. Well, not quite. He is a good manager, I think. It's too bad. It's a shame what happened to him at Chelsea, but he's probably forgotten about that now and can't wait to get the United job, hopefully.
But leading on from the Chelsea subject, he didn't do well at Chelsea this season. Is he still got the thing to progress in the Premier League? Obviously, coming from Porto in 2003, 2004, whenever it was, he was completely new to the Premier League. The Premier League was different back then, and to introduce the style of play he had then into the Premier League couldn't cope with it. The Premier League has progressed since then, and he is experienced, but with him being experienced, other teams have the experience of playing against him, meaning they will know his kind of tactics and stuff, which is making me think that he's old for the Premier League, if you know what I mean. So that style of play, would it still work in the Premier League as much nowadays? Is that why Chelsea fell? Also, Chelsea weren't doing very well with their morale, and that's similar to that of United right now. United, obviously it'll be a bit better now having won the FA Cup, but they're still a bit down. They haven't done well recently. Their morale isn't great. That's why Van Gaal wasn't doing well, and that's kind of like what it was at Chelsea, and Mourinho couldn't cope with that. Will that be the same at United?
Well, I've heard things about how the Chelsea team, when they played in the Mourinho, they just didn't play with much mentality. There was no belief in the team, and they just played really bad pedigree to getting rid of Mourinho. But when you say about the play style, as in like play at the likes of Porto, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, I think the play style, I don't think the play style is the same when he moves from club to club. I think he's changed it because of the players that are there. So I think with regards to the play style at United, yes, the morale wasn't great under Van Gaal. I would say that's both of their fault, the manager and the players' fault. But I believe that he can change the play style and start lifting players' heads up and making them believe in themselves, bring back their confidence, and perform better than they did last season.
Another thing that I'm thinking is, will he be able to continue from what Van Gaal has done to or at United? He is not a manager known to play young players. We all know that. He wants good players in his team. He's not somebody who's going to play young players who've come up through the youth ranks that year, like Van Gaal was. And the United starting 11 now includes a lot of those young players which have come up through the youth ranks, such as Fosu Mensah, Martial, Memphis and Martial not coming up through the youth ranks, but young players, if you know what I mean. He doesn't like to play young players, so will the young players get game time under him? If not, who will he play in those positions instead of them?
Well, the way I see it is, I think that Van Gaal has played. I think the only reason why these youth players have been given a chance is because of injuries, which is down to Van Gaal, because he didn't sign the players that he wanted to sign. He didn't sign enough players in the January transfer window and the summer transfer window. I remember when we wanted to get Otamendi and Pedro, but at the last minute they went to City and Chelsea. So that's why we just...
Same with Renato Sanchez.
Yeah.
He wasn't quick enough at getting the players. But reportedly that scout who's trying to get Pedro was actually secretly in for Neymar. And as you said, with the Otamendi deal, I just don't... And Renato Sanchez going to Bayern Munich under Manchester United's noses, I don't feel Van Gaal was quick enough snapping up the signings he wanted, and that's why he was beaten too.
Yeah, and also, now that Mourinho's here, although we haven't got Champions League, people say, oh, we haven't got Champions League, we're not going to get the big players around in Europe. But those biggest players in Europe wouldn't want to come to United anyway, because the manager would leave Van Gaal. But now that he's been sacked, and Mourinho has come forward and said all this.
Wait a second, can you say that again, kind of?
Okay. Now that Mourinho, players around Europe, the biggest players in Europe have declined their move to Manchester United because of Louis van Gaal being a manager. But now he's been sacked, and Mourinho is preferably about to be manager tomorrow or the next day. Players will start to turn their heads and think, right, Mourinho's manager now. I think I might go to Manchester United because Mourinho is a great manager, and also his agent George Mendes is also an agent of De Gea's, Renato Sanchez, Ronaldo, and all the other mostly other big players around Europe. So hopefully he can persuade the likes of Ibrahimovic. I don't think he's his agent, but hopefully Ibrahimovic will be coming to Old Trafford, or maybe Aubameyang. And like you said before about playing the youth, Mourinho's not known for playing youth, as you said before. The only reason why he's playing the youth is because of injuries, and Van Gaal had no belief in the players that he bought himself, such as Schneiderlin, Herrera, Depay. He has no belief in them, so he just leaves them on the bench, or maybe doesn't even play them at all. Maybe doesn't even put them on the bench. I don't understand why he asked Bostic Jackson, Fosu-Mensah, and Depay for the final. I'm not sure why. And he put Jones on the bench, who I don't think he's even played like more than 5 games for us. But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Mourinho, before he left, didn't he buy Kennedy for Chelsea?
Who, Mourinho?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And didn't he play Ruben Loftus-Cheek?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And also, I'm not sure if it was under Mourinho or under, I think it was under Mourinho. I'm gonna say it right now. Mourinho has balls. He has the tenacity to, well, not tenacity. He has the balls to get rid of. Well, not get rid of. He has the balls to drop his captain. He's also brave enough to even drop Hazard or anybody, and Cahill if not playing well, unlike Van Gaal, who just carried on playing the same players even though they weren't performing, such as Fellaini, Rooney at times, even Blint, and Mourinho will play the players in the right position. Unlike Van Gaal, who played Blint at centre back, Valencia right back, Mata right wing when he's an attacking midfielder, and so on. But yeah, hopefully Mourinho can change the season for us and get us back on track.
The only thing I'm thinking is who instead of Mourinho would suit United, and one name that has come to mind, this may surprise you and a few people, but my name that's coming to mind is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't know why, I just think he's had manager experience in Norway with Molde, was it? And with Cardiff City. I just feel when Ferguson came in, he was, to say it, kind of the underdog. He came down from Aberdeen, was it, in Scotland, having won stuff with them. He wasn't world-class manager like Van Gaal and Mourinho, was he? And he essentially grew with United, if you know what I mean. As United grew, he grew. I think that would be what would happen with either Ryan Giggs or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think one of the old United guys should come back as manager and potentially grow with the team.
Yeah, I heard something about that yesterday about old United players coming to the club and managing them. But when you said Solskjaer, that was a surprise, to be honest. I kind of agree with you, because if I remember correctly, I think he did
Cardiff
manage.
were in the 2013-14
I'm not sure what year it was.
season.
Maybe
replace Malky Mackay.
Yeah. I think he did. I think he did manage the United Reserves.
Yeah, he did.
2009, I think it was. So he does have kind of like a backstory with Manchester United. So hopefully, well, not hopefully, maybe in the future, once Mourinho's gone, he can step in. Or I've also heard rumors about the class of '92, because they, yeah, I was thinking Beckham as well. Like the class of '92, they could probably step in once Mourinho's reign is over as well.
Imagine if Bobby Charlton came back to manage.
What do you
No,
mean
I'm just
came
saying,
back?
like,
Did
if
he
he managed
manage
them like
back?
at his age now. Yeah, it would be weird
Oh,
to
yeah.
like a 90-year-old, whatever he is, on the bench.
At least we'll accept the fact that he's old and he can sit down in his chair.
Yeah. To sum up this conversation,
not
in my
even
opinion, I think it's going to be that Mourinho is iffy with United. It's just not United legacy, so to say. He'd be a good manager, yes. We all know he's a good manager, but I don't think he's United legacy. And also, to sum it up, we like United. We are United. We remember the history at United, and that's what we want to carry on. We want United, not Chelsea, Real Madrid, Inter Milan United. We don't want Manchester United to be Real Madrid or Inter Milan or Chelsea, I don't know, just another big name club which people just watch as the games now. We want a club with history, with legacy, and unique, which was what it was under Alex Ferguson. And with Van Gaal being sacked, I think that opens up the opportunity for us. It's just whether the United board will take it. What is your conclusions on Van Gaal getting sacked?
Well, I think it's the right decision, but it's too late. When we lost, I think with Stoke, it was Christmas time in December, and I think we lost against Stoke, and then the following game we lost against Norwich. Yep, and then he should have been sacked then.
Well, I don't know if
Or
it's too
I
late.
think
If he was
it's too late
sacked then,
now.
would we have won the FA Cup? If he was sacked then and Mourinho come in, we might not have won anything. I think that they either sack him at the very start of the season that's just finished, or last summer, or they sack him now. I don't think sacking him halfway through a season, when he's only got another year remaining on his contract, would be good. That's one thing I'm going to disagree with you on. I don't think he should have been sacked back then. I know it was a poor enough result, but I think United have got it right there. The only thing I think they're going to get wrong is who to employ instead of him. I think the United board are turning away from the United legacy and more towards we want to win, like Chelsea. Like a Mourinho attitude kind of makes me think of Manchester United's board. They want to win. Obviously anybody wants to win, but we weren't like that in '86, whenever it was, when we employed Ferguson. We weren't thinking get the best world-class manager and we're going to win this, we're going to win the Champions League, dominate world football. They were like, we have to build, and that's what we need to do now. The whole conclusion of this video is United have to rebuild, not just in the playing style and in the players, but in the manager as well. We are not, in my opinion, I don't want us to employ a new world-class manager. Rebuild.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you when you said when you're talking about we need to rebuild, and where rebuilding is concerned, I think that speaking of rebuilding, I think what do you think? Who do you think that we would sign in the summer transfer window, and who do you think would leave?
Ferguson didn't sign well-known stars, did he? I mean, he signed players who were at the end of their contract at their current club, who could fill the gaps where needed. He didn't sign Neymar, he didn't sign Messi, who we don't need, but he's a world-class player. Ferguson didn't think, yeah, we urgently need a right back, let's sign Neymar. That's not the way to think. You need to sign the players that your club needs, obviously, We aren't just going to sign the big name stars. I don't mind signing a 19-year-old guy who played Sunday League football for bottom of the league club if he is the right player for the position. I don't mind that, just as long as we sign the right players and strengthen where we need to strengthen, and preferably young players as well, so as like I say, rebuilding like they're growing with us and the manager. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that when you said Fergie didn't sign any stars, I was gonna say Ronaldo, but he wasn't a star back then. Fergie grew him into a star. Also, I think that Fergie built Ronaldo into a star. Fergie made Ronaldo the player who he is today. I think a bit of Mourinho did that as well because of the connection that they had. But yeah, I think when Mourinho comes in, I think he'll buy. We really need a centre back. We need a right back. In addition to Darmian.
Darmian's not done the job this season. He just hasn't.
I think that's based on the things that Van Gaal has done to him.
Also, I think we need squad depth at right back. Dani Alves, when does his contract run out at Barcelona?
Well, I think it's meant to run out this summer, but I think he signed a new one.
Or, yeah, he did sign a new one. Or Carvajal, but would Real willing to sell him? Anyway, that's the conclusion of this video. Sorry, I'm going to have to cut it short. It's gone over 20 minutes now. Ronaldo needs to rebuild. United need to rebuild. Stop laughing. United need to rebuild. That's all we need to say. Van Gaal he did win us the FA Cup, but he didn't do the job at United. We want the legacy to continue at United as it has done in the past, and I think that's how we're going to close the video now. You can do your outro and then I'll do mine.
Okay, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe to BBOT11 and subscribe to my channel to be a part of the TD Army. Yeah, without further ado, thank you for watching the video. I'm Tao, aka TGI Gaming, and I'll see you in the next video. Over and out.